Felix Lliraldi was born on May 14, 1945 in Ciego de Avila, Cuba. His father, Ezequiel, was 37 and his mother, Hilda, was 25. He had one brother, Juan. On September 16, 1974, Felix copyrighted his first collection of songs. In May 12 of 1976, he would copyright another collection of songs titled Sad Beats Collection. Here's an article of Felix on The Voice, December 26, 1975, by Araceli Cantero, titled, He Fills Dark World with Music. No, I never thought this could ever happen to me, but I hold no bitterness or resentment, Felix Lliraldi says as he slowly removes the plastic cover on the electronic mixer in front of him. He speaks softly, leaving long pauses between sentences. It would almost seem as if he is listening to his own silence in an effort perhaps to avoid the conversation about himself. Since 1968, his has been a world of total darkness. I have never paid too much attention to my own physical adjustment, he says. Philosophy has never been my bag. I've always tried to look reality in the face. Now I just take things simply as they come. He has now finished the meticulous folding of the mixer cover, but refuses any help in putting it away, and he says courteously, I'd rather know where I put things myself so I may find them later. His room is quite small and poorly lit. It really makes no difference to him. There are no windows and it's soundproof. All around the wall lay a number of musical instruments. The son of a Cuban heart surgeon, FIFA was born in Cuba 30 years ago. A diabetic since he was 2, at the age of 15 he came to the United States with his older brother and they lived on their own for almost 2 years until the arrival of their parents. New York, Puerto Rico, and Miami were where FIFA grew into a young man full of hope and expectations for the future. He was in his second year of college and looking into engineering as a career when he lost his sight. Plans about getting married were also abandoned, and he started a whole reorientation of his life through music. What he is now is a product of his own training and perseverance. Many thought he would not be able to make it. The fact that he has a small recording studio in his room and by himself he operates the mixer with its over 100 switches, he makes his own recordings which include sometimes 4 to 5 instruments. I play and record each instrument separately, he explains. Then I put all the instruments together through the mixer. I control the pitch and volume gauges by ear because I can't see the needles. When a vocalist comes in, I have everything ready for him. He only has to do the singing, he says. FIFA is also a composer. I just play the instrument and listen to their message, he explains. Then I think of the words for the melody. He has several copyrighted songs. They all have a romantic touch and often are an invitation to look at his life as it is, with its happy moments, its tears, and its suffering. It isn't always easy to keep going, he says, while admitting that his parents have been of great help to him, but he in turn has been of a great help and encouragement to his friends. Miami, Florida in the 90s. I was involved in church back then and formed a guitar trio with Eliezer and Jorge. We played at youth services and played this banquet hall. I was writing spiritual songs and asked my cousin Felix Lliraldi if he could record and engineer the numbers I was working on. Felix had a full-on studio in his home here in Miami and we went to work on 3 or 4 of the songs I had. I had not seen my cousin much since the 80s at his graduation from FIU. Felix is holding the cane and next to his mother Hilda. Next to Hilda is his brother Juan, followed by my grandmother Ramona and I. In the 90s and a couple of years before we recorded songs, my mom saw my interest and constant practice of music and decided to encourage this in me. We drove over for a visit to Felix's house. We sat in my cousin's studio and had a very nice visit with Felix playing guitar while Hilda and my mom talked. Years later, after my mom passed, I would visit my cousin and we'd run errands on weekends. Felix's mom, Hilda, would pass a year later. In those days, we ended up recording more of my songs, which at that point had gone back in the direction of rock music. Felix engineered this song, also playing drums and saxophone. I did the guitars and vocals and also mixed the song. You got me rocking and a reeling. No one ever told me you love it was so good. During these days, Felix and I started playing rock covers, and I suggested we play a gig or two. We ended up playing at the now closed Warehouse Cafe on Sunset and 117th Avenue here in Miami. In 1999, I started working out in the Everglades driving airboats. I took an extended trip after meeting a lady and ended up in California, where I played music in a few places. When I returned to Miami, my father broke the news that Felix had passed away. Felix was an amazing talent and is always missed and always in our thoughts.